Chapter 7. Turn pressure into focus. Pressure isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. It's not there to crush you. It's there to reveal you. When life turns up the heat, it's not punishment. It's a test. A test of your control. A test of your mindset. A test of your focus. Most people crumble under pressure because they misunderstand it. They see it as danger instead of data. They feel their heart race, their breath shorten, their palms sweat, and they panic. But pressure isn't chaos. It's energy. And energy, when mastered, becomes power. You can run from it, or you can use it. That's the choice. That's the dividing line between the calm and the chaotic, the leader and the lost. You've heard the saying, diamonds are formed under pressure. It's not just a metaphor. It's a reality. The difference between a lump of coal and a diamond is the pressure it survived, and how it transformed. The same is true for you. Pressure isn't the enemy. It's the energy source. If you can stay calm in the middle of intensity, you can access a higher level of performance most people never reach. Because under pressure, most people stop thinking. They react. They flinch. They freeze. But the calm person focuses. They don't run from the fire. They use it to see clearer. That's the secret of great performers. Athletes, soldiers, entrepreneurs, leaders. They all understand one thing. Stress is not a signal to run. It's a signal to rise. When the heart pounds, when the stakes feel high, when your back's against the wall, that's not weakness. That's activation. Your body is priming you for performance. Adrenaline sharpens your senses. Focus narrows your world. That's not panic, that's potential. But here's the catch, only if you control it. If you let it control you, it turns to chaos. If you master it, it turns to clarity. Pressure sharpens. Panic shatters. That's the rule. Repeat it until it becomes instinct. When you feel the weight pressing down, you have two options, break or build. Choose to build. The difference is mental discipline. The untrained mind says, I can't handle this. The trained mind says, this is exactly where I learned to handle it. It's not about pretending pressure doesn't exist. It's about redefining it. Pressure isn't there to break you. It's there to train you to operate at a higher level. That's why Navy SEALs train in chaos. That's why martial artists spar at full speed. That's why world-class performers rehearse until fatigue hits. Because when the real test comes, they've already learned how to turn pressure into focus. You can do the same. Everyday life gives you opportunities. A tough meeting, a difficult conversation, a deadline that feels impossible. Those aren't burdens, they're your gym. Every pressure moment is a mental rep. Every rep builds control. The key is awareness. When pressure hits, most people react emotionally. You must shift to strategy. Pause. Breathe. Notice what's happening, the body tightening, the thoughts racing. And then say to yourself, good. This is training. That one thought changes everything. Because now you're not fighting pressure. You're using it. And when you use it, you rise above it. Here's what focus under pressure looks like. The athlete at the free throw line with seconds left. The surgeon in the middle of a life or death operation. The firefighter stepping into the smoke. They don't eliminate fear. They channel it. They convert that raw tension into laser focus. That's the skill. That's mastery. You don't get there by accident. You get there by practice, by repeatedly putting yourself in controlled stress and learning how to stay calm. Cold showers, hard workouts, high-stakes decisions. Each moment teaches your nervous system. Pressure isn't pain, it's potential. You can't grow in comfort. You grow in compression. Pressure molds you, shapes you, refines you. And the more you face it with calm, the more it bends to your will. Think about a swordsmith. He doesn't fear the fire. He uses it, because he knows the heat is what hardens the steel. Your mind works the same way. Without pressure, it stays dull. With pressure, it becomes sharp. So when life turns up the intensity, don't curse it. Use it. Don't say, why is this happening to me? Say, this is my sharpening moment. That's how warriors think. That's how leaders move. Pressure is feedback. It tells you what matters. It shows you where your limits are. And if you face it correctly, it pushes those limits further every time. When you start to feel overwhelmed, stop and repeat. Pressure sharpens. Panic shatters. Say it until it sinks into your bones. Because the moment you panic, you lose precision. You lose control. And calm is control. Pressure isn't the signal to run. It's the invitation to focus. When you feel that surge of energy, heart pounding, breath quickening, channel it. Direct it. Let it pull your attention into the present moment where clarity lives. Pressure demands presence. And presence is power. Remember, the difference between chaos and clarity is how you interpret what's happening. To most, pressure feels like danger. To the calm, it feels like fuel. You decide which it becomes. Every single time. So here's your reminder. Pressure doesn't destroy you. It reveals your training. It exposes your level of preparation, your level of self-command, your level of discipline. If you've built nothing, it breaks you. If you've built yourself, it builds you higher. Pressure is the forge. It will test you, yes, but it will also create you. If you let it, pressure sharpens. Panic shatters. Let that guide you in every storm, every test, every battle. You've learned to turn pressure into focus. Now it's time to build the foundation that keeps your focus unshakable, the discipline that sustains you long after motivation fades. Chapter 8. Expect the chaos, then own it. Calm isn't built in comfort. It's forged in chaos. You can't stay steady in the storm if you spend your whole life pretending it'll never come. That's the truth most people run from. They want peace without preparation. They want control without conditioning. They want calm, but they don't want the chaos that tests it. And that's why they break. The calm person doesn't break, because they saw it coming. They're not surprised by storms. They expect them. That's the difference between the ordinary and the unshakable. You see, when chaos hits, most people waste their first few seconds in shock. They panic. They freeze. They ask, "Why is this happening?" But the calm mind says, "Of course it's happening. I was waiting for it." That's the mindset shift that changes everything. The calm person is never surprised. They expect the unexpected. That's not pessimism. That's preparedness. You're not being negative by expecting chaos. You're being ready. Because chaos isn't rare. It's reality. And if you live expecting it, you stop being its victim. The truth is, life will always test you at your weakest moment. It'll come when you're tired, distracted, unguarded. It'll show up in the form of bad news, lost opportunities, betrayal, or sudden change. You can't control the timing. You can only control the response. That's why the calm person trains their response before the chaos arrives. They rehearse composure. They anticipate difficulty. So when pressure hits, they don't react. They execute. That's the difference between a pro and an amateur. The amateur panics when the plan breaks. The pro already has a plan for when the plan breaks. That's calm under pressure, not the absence of stress, but the mastery of response. A pilot doesn't train for perfect skies. He trains for failure. He trains for turbulence. He trains for the engine going silent at 30,000 feet. He doesn't expect it to happen, but he refuses to be shocked by it if it does. That's calm in motion. That's composure by design. When you build that level of readiness, chaos stops feeling like a threat. It becomes a cue, a signal that it's time to apply what you've trained for. That's when calm turns into power. Think about it. Chaos doesn't ruin you. Your reaction does. It's not the storm that takes people down. It's their shock, their disbelief, their loss of center. The calm person eliminates shock before it even starts. Because they've already run the scenario in their mind 1,000 times. That's the essence of composure. Not ignorance of chaos, but intimacy with it. You know it's coming. You know how it feels. You visualized it, trained for it, breathed through it. So when it arrives, you're not overwhelmed, you're operational. Every soldier, every surgeon, every pilot, every elite performer knows this. When chaos hits, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your level of training. If your training is weak, chaos breaks you. If your training is strong, chaos becomes familiar ground. When chaos hits, don't react, execute. That's the mindset of mastery. You don't waste time asking why. You move. You adapt. You adjust. You respond with precision, not panic. That's not something you learn once. It's something you drill daily. You train it in the small moments. Traffic jam? Practice patience. Unexpected criticism? Practice composure. Plan ruined? Practice adaptability. Because how you handle the small chaos is how you'll handle the big one. You can't be shocked by life and be calm at the same time. Choose one. Either live in reaction or live in readiness. The calm person chooses readiness. And here's the truth: chaos isn't your enemy. It's your confirmation. It proves you're in motion, you're growing, you're living in the real world. No one builds strength without resistance. No one builds calm without conflict. So instead of saying, "I hope it's an easy day," start saying, "I'm ready for whatever shows up." Because that mindset alone separates leaders from followers, warriors from worriers, the prepared from the panicked. When you expect chaos, you own it before it even arrives. You take away its element of surprise. And that's what calm really is: strategic expectation. You don't control everything, but you control how ready you are for everything. Remember, storms don't announce themselves. They don't send a warning. They just hit. And the person who expects that reality never loses their balance when it happens. The untrained mind says, "This shouldn't be happening." The trained mind says, "This is my moment to apply everything I've practiced." That single thought makes the difference between breakdown and breakthrough. So start building readiness into your routine. Visualize setbacks before they come. Mentally rehearse your calm response. When you imagine chaos, you're not attracting negativity, you're rehearsing strength. Because calm is a skill, and every skill requires repetition. Every time you predict the unpredictable, you build another layer of control. Don't wish for less chaos. Train for more calm. Don't wait for the storm to pass. Learn to operate in the wind. That's mastery. That's leadership. That's control. The calm person is never surprised. They expect the unexpected. When chaos hits, they don't react, they execute. And when everyone else loses control, they step forward and own the moment. Because chaos doesn't belong to the loudest person. It belongs to the one who's most prepared to handle it. So let the world get loud. Let it get unpredictable. Let it spin in circles. You stay centered. Stay calm. Stay ready. Because when you expect the chaos, you own it. And when you own it, nothing can own you. You've learned how to anticipate storms and stay unshaken. Now it's time to master what sustains that strength. The foundation that makes you unbeatable, no matter what comes.